Standard Chinese, a modular approach. Money Module, Unit 1, Production Tape 1. On the comprehension tape in this unit, you were introduced to a number of sentences about buying things such as newspapers, magazines, and books. Before you learn how to say these things, let's review them. Give an English equivalent for each of the following sentences from the target list. Number 1.
这里有英文报没有？
Are there any English language newspapers here?
有，就在那里。
Yes, they're right over there. Number 2.
我想买英文报。
I'd like to buy an English language newspaper.
这个报多少钱？
How much is this newspaper?
这个报5块钱一份。
This newspaper is $5 a copy. Number 3.
这里有美国杂志没有？
Are there any American magazines here?
这里没有美国杂志。
There aren't any American magazines here. Number 4.
你们这里卖美国书不卖？
Do you sell American books here?
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
I'm sorry, we don't sell American books. Number 5.
报、杂志一共多少钱？
How much are the book and magazine altogether?
一共35块钱。
Altogether, it's $35. Number 6.
这两张地图多少钱？
How much are these two maps?
32块钱。
$32. Now that you understand these sentences, you should begin learning how to say them. Listen to this exchange. We're in Taipei. 2 students are in the library talking.
这里有英文报吗？
有，就在那里。
Repeat the word for newspaper.
报，报，
Repeat English language newspaper.
英文报，英文报。
Notice that here it's 英文报, an English language newspaper, not 英国报, a newspaper from England. Repeat, are there any English language newspapers here?
这里有英文报吗？这里有英文报吗？
In the last module, you learned the verb 有. At times it meant to have, and at other times it meant to exist, to be. When the verb 有 means to exist or to be, there is no subject in the sentence. Repeat the sentence, are there any English newspapers here? Again. Notice that there's really no subject.
这里有英文报吗？这里有英文报吗？
What's before 有, the verb, is 这里, here, the topic of the sentence. Coming at the front, it sets the scene for the rest of the sentence. Here, are there any English newspapers? Try asking the question yourself now. You'll get a confirmation and a reply. Are there any English newspapers here?
这里有英文报吗？
有，就在那里。
Again.
这里有英文报吗？
有，就在那里。
Where English uses the impersonal construction are there or is there, Chinese uses the verb 有 without a subject. Here's a similar exchange. Listen.
这里有英文报没有？
有，就在那里。
Notice that in this yes-no question, there's no use of the question marker ma. Instead, the negative form of the verb is added after the object where the ma would be. Try repeating, are there any newspapers here?
这里有报没有？这里有报没有？
It's important to remember that the negative form of the verb used at the end of the sentence is almost toneless. Try repeating the question again. Are there any newspapers here?
这里有报没有？ 这里有报没有？
Repeat, are there any English newspapers here?
这里有英文报没有？这里有英文报没有？
Ask the question yourself now. You get a confirmation and a reply. Are there any English newspapers here?
这里有英文报没有？
有，就在那里。
Again.
这里有英文报没有？
有，就在那里。
Do you remember how to ask, do you have children?
你们有孩子吗？
Now ask the same question without using the marker of ma. Do you have children?
你们有孩子没有？
Now let's say you're in a small store in Taipei. Listen.
我想买英文报。
好，就在这里。
Repeat the verb to buy.
买，买。
In the last module, you saw that the verb xiang meant to think and also to plan. Here we have another meaning, to want to. Repeat, to want to.
想，想。
Repeat, I'd like to buy an English language newspaper.
我想买英文报。我想买英文报。
Try saying it yourself. You'll get a confirmation and a reply.
我想买英文报。
好，就在这里。
Again.
我想买英文报。
好，就在这里。
Here's how you might ask the price. Listen.
这个多少钱？
5块钱。
The question word how much, 多少, is made of two words, many, 多, and few, 少. The word 少, few, loses its tone in combination. Repeat how much.
多少？多少？
Repeat the word for money.
钱，钱。
Repeat, how much does this cost? Literally, this how much money?
这个多少钱？这个多少钱？
As you see, when you want to ask how much something costs, you simply say, this, how much money? 这个多少钱? You need no verb like is or has. This is similar to the way you ask how old you are. 你多大了? Literally, you how much old. Ask the question, how much does this cost? You get a confirmation and a reply.
这个多少钱？
5块钱。
Again.
这个多少钱？
5块钱。
Let's listen to the reply again.
5块钱。
Repeat the word for dollar.
快，快。
The word for dollar, 块, is a counter for money. You've already seen the general counter 个 as used for people and things. Repeat $5. Notice that it's literally $5 money.
5块钱， 5块钱。
Now you take the part of the shopkeeper. The English newspaper is $5.
这个多少钱？
5块钱。
Again.
这个多少钱？
5块钱。
Here's a similar exchange. Listen.
这个中文报多少钱？
3块钱一份。
Repeat Chinese language newspaper. Be sure to mimic the tones accurately.
中文报，中文报，
Repeat the question, how much is this Chinese newspaper?
这个中文报多少钱？这个中文报多少钱？
Now try asking the question yourself. You'll get a confirmation and a reply.
这个中文报多少钱？
3块钱一份。
Again.
这个中文报多少钱？
3块钱一份。
Listen to the reply again.
3块钱一份。
Repeat the word for copy. It's a counter used for newspapers.
份，份，
Repeat one copy. Notice that the tone on one is rising before a syllable with a falling tone.
一份，一份，
Repeat $3 a copy. Notice that 一份 comes at the end of the sentence just as a copy does in English.
3块钱一份，3块钱一份。
Try replying to the question now. The Chinese newspaper is $3 a copy.
这个中文报多少钱？
3块钱一份。
Again.
这个中文报多少钱？
3块钱一份。
But perhaps you're not only interested in buying newspapers. Listen.
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
卖，我们这里卖。
Notice that the verb to sell, 卖, is distinguished from the verb to buy, 买, only by the tone, falling instead of low. Repeat the verb to sell.
卖，卖，
Repeat the word for magazine.
杂志，杂志，
Repeat American magazine.
美国杂志，美国杂志。
Repeat the sentence, do you sell American magazines here?
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
In this question, just as in 这里有英文报没有, there is a topic instead of a subject. The topic is 你们这里. We don't have anything quite like this in English, but it means something like here where you are or your place here. Repeat the sentence, do you sell American magazines here? Again.
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
As you may have noticed, the English translation of this question, do you sell American magazines here, does not match the Chinese too well. Literally, the question is something more like, here at your place, are American magazines sold? How do you say, do you sell American magazines here?
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
Try asking the question, do you sell American magazines here? Again. This time you'll get a confirmation and a reply.
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
卖，我们这里卖。
Again.
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
卖，我们这里卖。
Notice that the verb 卖, to sell, is used as a short answer. Repeat, yes, we sell them here.
卖，我们这里卖。卖，我们这里卖。
Try responding to the question yourself. Answer that you sell them here.
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
卖，我们这里卖。
Again.
你们这里卖美国杂志不卖？
卖，我们这里卖。
The conversation at the newsstand might continue like this.
这个多少钱？
30块钱一本。
How do you say, how much is this one?
这个多少钱？
Ask the question again. You'll get a confirmation and a reply.
这个多少钱？
30块钱一本。
Repeat the counter for magazines. Literally, a volume. It's also the counter for books.
本
Repeat one volume. Notice that the tone of E changes to falling tone before the low tone of bun.
一本
Repeat $30 a copy. Literally, $30 money, one volume.
30块钱一本30块钱一本
Try answering the question yourself. Say that they're $30 a copy.
这个多少钱？
30块钱一本。
Again.
这个多少钱？
30块钱一本。
If you were interested in buying the magazine, the conversation might have gone like this.
这个多少钱？
30块钱一本。
好，我买一本。
Repeat, fine, I'll buy one. Speaking of magazines.
好，我买一本。好，我买一本。
Notice that when you say you want to buy one, use the number 1 plus a counter, in this case, bun, a copy or volume. You can't leave off the counter. How do you say, fine, I'll buy one, speaking of magazines?
好，我买一本。
How do you say, fine, I'll buy one, speaking of newspapers?
好，我买一份。
Now you buy the magazine. First, ask how much it is, then buy it.
这个多少钱？
30块钱一本。
好，我买一本。
Again.
这个多少钱？
30块钱一本。
好，我买一本。
Now let's turn to buying something else. Listen.
你们这里有美国书没有？
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Repeat the word for book.
书
Repeat. Are there American books here?
这里有美国书没有？这里有美国书没有？
Repeat. Do you have American books here?
你们这里有美国书没有？你们这里有美国书没有？
Try asking the question yourself. You'll get a confirmation and a reply.
你们这里有美国书没有？
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Try it again. Do you have American books here?
你们这里有美国书没有？
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Repeat the word for I'm sorry, literally unable to face you.
对不起，对不起，
Repeat, I'm sorry, we don't sell them.
对不起，我们不卖。对不起，我们不卖。
Repeat, I'm sorry, we don't sell American books. Notice that the object, American books, is at the front of the sentence as a topic.
对不起，美国书我们不卖。对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Try saying it ahead of the speaker. I'm sorry, we don't sell American books.
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Try responding to the question now. Answer politely that you don't sell American books.
你们这里有美国书没有？
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Again.
你们这里有美国书没有？
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Now let's say you bought both an English language newspaper and an American magazine. You'll want to be able to ask how much it is altogether. Listen.
报、杂志一共多少钱？
报5块，杂志30块，一共35块钱。
Repeat the word for altogether.
一共。一共。
Repeat, how much is it altogether?
一共多少钱？一共多少钱？
To ask how much the newspaper and magazine are altogether, you put the word for newspaper and magazine up front in the topic position. Repeat, how much are the newspaper and magazine altogether?
报、杂志一共多少钱？报、杂志一共多少钱？
Ask the question yourself now. You'll get a confirmation and a reply. How much are the newspaper and magazine altogether?
报、杂志一共多少钱？
报5块，杂志30块，一共35块钱。
Again.
报、杂志一共多少钱？
报5块，杂志30块，一共35块钱。
Let's move on to buying something else. Listen.
你们这里卖地图不卖？
卖，在那里。
Repeat the word for map.
地图。地图。
Repeat, do you sell maps here?
你们这里卖地图不卖？你们这里卖地图不卖？
Now you take the part of the customer in the shop. Ask if they sell maps.
你们这里卖地图不卖？
卖，在那里。
Again, do you sell maps here?
你们这里卖地图不卖？
卖，在那里。
The shopkeeper continues.
您想买什么地图？
我想买一张台北地图。
Repeat the word for sheet. It's a counter for flat things like maps and paper.
张。张。
Repeat one sheet. Notice that the high tone of E changes to falling tone before another high tone.
一张。一张。
Repeat a map of Taipei, literally one sheet Taipei map.
一张台北地图。一张台北地图。
Repeat, I'd like to buy a map of Taipei. Notice that the low tones of Wo and Xiang change to rising tone before the low tone of Mai.
我想买一张台北地图。我想买一张台北地图。
Try responding to the shopkeeper's question yourself. Assume that you're looking for a map of Taipei.
您想买什么地图？
我想买一张台北地图。
Again.
您想买什么地图？
我想买一张台北地图。
Now let's review some of the sentences from the target list. Put the following English sentences into Chinese. Let's begin. I'd like to buy an English language newspaper.
我想买英文报。
How much is this one?
这个报多少钱？
This newspaper is $5 a copy.
这个报5块钱一份。
Do you sell American books here?
你们这里卖美国书不卖？
I'm sorry, we don't sell American books.
对不起，美国书我们不卖。
Are there any American magazines here?
这里有美国杂志没有？
There aren't any American magazines here.
这里没有美国杂志。
How much are the newspaper and magazine altogether?
报、杂志一共多少钱？
Altogether, it's $45.
一共45块钱。
This is the end of the tape. End of Money Module Unit 1, Production Tape 1.